Official that IBF champion Charles Martin, in just his first title defense, is going to be taking on Anthony Joshua April the 9th, 2016 in the O2 Arena, and it's likely going to be televised in the States on Showtime and over in the UK, Sky Sports Boxoffice, which is pay-per-view. And I'm saying, why not? You know, we've heard for the last week or so that Charles Martin's team, advised by Al Heyman, reached out to Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, the promoter of Anthony Joshua, who's ranked very high by the IBF, by the way, and they wanted to make the fight. So in my opinion, it would have been somewhat of a missed opportunity if Anthony Joshua didn't take the fight against Charles Martin, because Charles Martin has somewhat of a wild card effect to the point where we really don't know who he is. He's 23-0-1 with 21 KOs, but when you look at his resume, none of those names, we don't know who these people are. Someone consider that he fought a bunch of bums to get where he is today. It's even questionable how he got so high in the IBF rankings in the first place. But you can say the same thing about Anthony Joshua, who's ranked very high by the WBC, and now he's fighting for a championship in the IBF. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. And see, Anthony Joshua did look a little bit suspect in his win, which he won the fight, which is what matters, against Dillian Whyte. He did seem at a couple of points in the fight to look like a deer in the headlights, and it made you question, you know, should he stay on the level of competition as a Dillian Whyte? And I'm thinking Charles Martin is on that is on that same level. We don't know who Charles Martin is. So it's a 50-50 fight in my opinion, because Charles Martin is still, no matter how you put it, undefeated, even though he won the title from basically he won a vacated title fighting a fighter who got injured. You can't really say that he's not good, because if you look at the footage of him that there is out there for fans, us fans to be able to watch, there's not much of it. Literally, there's not much of it. And then the fact that Zarglazkov got hurt in the fight, where a lot of fans like myself felt, okay, Charles Martin is going to show us something. You know, we're going to see who he is. Either he's going to be good, bad, or just okay. In the Zarglazkov fight, before everything started getting, you know, heated, Zarglazkov got injured. So right now, you know, I'm fully for him to fight for a title. It's all about what he does after, or if he wins the title, because what we've seen with Kell Brook just went along and fought guys in the IBF rankings. Well, the IBF rankings are pretty tough. So it's not going to be an easy road for Anthony Joshua if he does win, and it's not an easy road for Charles Martin if he was to decide to fight other guys in the IBF rankings outside of Anthony Joshua. And the biggest money fight he can make, you know, for himself is the Anthony Joshua fight, and he would have been ordered to fight him later on in the future. So let me go through the IBF rankings. I did it before in a previous video. Now you have Erkan Taper, who is right now dealing with some steroid issues. He's likely going to be removed out of the rankings. You got next in line Anthony Joshua, who's fighting for the title. Carlos Takam, Joseph Parker, Zarglazkov, who's injured, Steve Cunningham, who's fighting his next fight at cruiserweight, top ranks Andy Ruiz, Bermane Stiverne, Kubrat Pulev, Robert Helenius, Derek Chisora, Alexander Ustinov, Dominic Breazeale. Now, if you know the heavyweight landscape well enough, you know that all those are tough fights. The only easy fight I would probably say that would be easy for him would be Dominic Breazeale. So I figure, why should Charles Martin fight one of those guys, you know, as an interim fight and likely lose, then go for the big money fight? And it's interesting that Al Heyman is actually doing this to a fighter. It's uncharacteristic of Al Heyman basically to do this with a fighter who just won a title. So the storylines are interesting for this fight. The build-up, I'm interested to see what Charles Martin brings to the table. He's going to be traveling to the UK as champion. This whole thing it's crazy, but they got it done. And, you know, Shout out to Eddie Hearn for guiding his fighter to a title shot and a winnable fight in just his 16th pro fight. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. Check out my previous videos. We pretty much went over the whole heavyweight division. I covered the whole heavyweight division. Now we're just waiting to see who Tyson Fury is going to fight and if his announcement is about his cousin Hughie Fury's fight or his fight. If you don't know what I mean, then go check Tyson Fury's Twitter. T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. Follow me on Twitter. The link to my Twitter is right down below in the description box. I'm not on Facebook like that anymore, but all the links to my social media are right down below. Please subscribe.